Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you. Thank you all for coming. It's been the last time we met was 2 weeks ago. How is everyone? Anyone has any questions, problems? No? Okay. I have no problems either, except it's very hot. It's so hot here in Los Angeles. It's, what is it today? 92 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about, I don't know, how many degrees Celsius? 94 Fahrenheit? It used to be the case where when I first started at Lu Mountain Temple, when it gets to be around 90 degrees, I would lie down in the shade and my body would overheat. So couldn't function at all. It's like the whole day I had to wait until it cools down. And then late at night, that's when it cools down. I was cheap. I refuse to turn on the AC, you know. Warriors, you know, we don't turn on ACs. But anyway, so I used to be like that for years. And then lately, no matter how hot or cold, I still work. You know why? Too busy. You don't have time to lie down all day. Okay, no questions? No questions, then we can speak the thing. We have 4 more anecdotes from Master Weishan Lingyo's teachings. Let me see. I know there's one that I don't like, so let's do the things that I don't like. There you go. Weishan bamboo hat. Okay, let's read it. A monk said, "To not be one Weishan bamboo hat, there is no way to reach the village Mo Yao," representing attaining enlightenment. How to be a Weishan bamboo hat? Master Weishan stepped on him. And that's it. There's no Vietnamese, you notice. The Vietnamese said, "No, I'm not going there." Is there a reason, Ah Hong, why there's no Vietnamese here? Okay, anyway. Mo ears, what do you have to say? What's a Weishan bamboo hat? I have no idea. Anyone? It's an Asian thing. Speak. What's a Weishan bamboo hat? Anyone has any ideas? No ideas? No one wants to take a stab at it? You Asians, what's the matter with you? Chinese. If you don't even understand your own language, what do you want from me? Yes, June.
Hello, Master. My 2 cents is I think the Weishan bamboo hat, it just means the 2 minutes. One layer is that someone who stays very closer with Master Weishan or a good knowledge advisor. A second meaning is that a hat has usage of protection and then serve. So maybe it's something around the student serves the master. And then so by doing that, that's how you reach enlightenment.
I don't get it.
Sorry, was my sound not clear, or just the content was not clear?
Your Dharma is not clear.
Okay.
Anyone else? What is the way to not be Weishan bamboo hat? There is no way to reach the village Mo Yao. And so the monk asked how to be a Weishan bamboo hat. So apparently to reach the village Mo Yao is very, very desirable. And you need to be a Weishan bamboo hat to reach the village Mo Yao, according to this monk here. So of course then the monk says, that's important. How do I become a Weishan bamboo hat? And Master Weishan stepped on him. No clues? If there's no clues, we can put it down as we don't know. Okay? We don't know how to explain this. We have no idea what this is about. Is it reasonable? It is what it is. Until you change your mind, that's my attitude. I don't know. I know, I'm sorry, you're disappointed, but I have no idea. Okay? So, for this particular anecdote, Weishan bamboo hat, we in our book, we put it down, we list it in Chinese, in our translation, hopefully with a little bit of Vietnamese that's missing. And then we say, we don't understand this Weishan bamboo hat, what it really means, or Mo Yao. Okay? Yes, Reishi.
Hello, Master. So I read this, on the surface, it sounds like making Master Weishan a hat, which doesn't really make sense. And then I have a far-fetched explanation because they used to work in the fields, and people who work in the fields wear those hats. So, so I can interpret this as like the people who work in the fields for Master Weishan and his temple. So basically that means working for Master Weishan.
Okay, what about Mo Yao? You want to reach the Mo Yao village. What does it mean? Okay, yes, Jun.
I just want to add some more context. Sorry, it's hard with Kai here not cooperating. So I did some research before the Mo Yao. It's very likely a location somewhere in the area, around the area where Master Weishan was. I had this interpretation that I think just imagine this is like a traveling, like so Master Weishan arrived this place called the Mo Yao village.
Can't hear you.
And,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, I think it's the technical problem.
Master.
Hey, boy.
Okay. Can you hear me? Sorry, Master. So Moyao is likely a place, a location in the nearby village where the Master Wei Shan was active back in the days. I think as his head, you travel with the master. So master arrived in this village. In the heart, that's how you get there. Sorry, that's and
You need to have a hat to reach a village? What's the meaning?
no, Master Wei Shan lived the village of enlightenment, and being his head, you also arrive there. Right, you travel with him.
I can't hear.
So, Mo Yao Chun, did we talk about the fact that it means arriving at a shore, meaning become enlightened? There was an explanation somewhere saying that when you mention Mo Yao Chun in the Chan anecdotes, it means you've reached enlightenment.
Okay, assuming that's the case, why do you need to be Weishan bamboo hat? Well, that seems to be what it's implying, but why do you have to be a Weishan bamboo hat? And what is a Weishan bamboo hat in relation to the village Mo Yao? JMT, thank you. How is Korea? Oh, it's good. Yeah, okay.
인터넷 검색을 해봤는데요. 마교촌은 부역이 면제된 동네라고 나와 있습니다.
Master, I searched the internet, and this Mayo village is where that you don't pay any tax.
I like that.
Oh. Master, I also researched, this is Sarah. There was a saying that there's this village, there's a minority lives there. But since Tang Dynasty, because they established a lot of merit to the country, so the generations after that, they...
exempt from paying taxes.
Yes, thank you.
That used to be the tradition back then in China. Okay? And so, how does it represent enlightenment? Enlightened people still have to pay taxes, I feel. Just because you're enlightened doesn't mean you're special. You're enlightened, I think you should pay more taxes. Serves you right. Who told you to become enlightened? Why can't you be like the rest of us, confused? Yeah? So you have to be a Weishan bamboo hat in order to reach that village, Moya. Okay? So to reach enlightenment, let's assume it's enlightenment, okay? Then you have to be a Weishan bamboo hat. Why? What is Weishan bamboo hat? Situation very simple. What is it? That's why the monk says, if that's the case, how do I become a Weishan bamboo hat? And Master Weishan stepped on him. He says, okay, that's how you become a Weishan bamboo hat. You explain to me the Weishan bamboo hat, I can explain to you why he stepped on the Weishan bamboo hat. Why he stepped on him. Yes, Sarah.
Master, I'd like to correct. I said text, but actually it's not a text. It's about labor. They're waived not to do any labor for the government. Thank you.
Labor for the government, usually the villages or those territories are exempt from paying taxes or tributes to the emperor, to the king. That's how they're rewarded, so that they get to keep all the taxes, all the collections. Back then, the feudal lords, their fortunes come from the collection of the taxes from their vassals. And so, for example, if the area is very good at growing rice or crops, certain crops, and they make money, then that's how they collect. They can afford to pay more taxes to get more protection. Okay, because if the area, the soil is fertile, and you can grow a lot of good crops, you can make a lot of money, then the enemies would be vying for it, would try to come and invade you. So it makes sense for the feudal lord to collect more taxes to have a stronger army. Okay? It's vicious cycles of life. But what about this bamboo hat? It has to be a Weishan bamboo hat. Yes, Sarah.
I forgot to raise my hand. I forgot to take off the hand. Thank you.
Okay. No ideas? Very simple. Just tell me why. What does it mean? You don't know what it means, and there's no point in going further because we don't know. We don't know what it is. Therefore, there's no point in trying to interpret what Master Weishan's action of stepping on him. You see? The one thing I would teach you is the teachings, unlike the people who are bookworms, they want to talk about concepts. The teachers teach by doing. Okay? Not, quite often, that's what they do. Okay? So this is actually means that when Master Weishan stepped on him, that means this guy's level is pretty low. That's why Master Weishan would behave like that. For example, when people are low, like in the Linji, the Rinzai in Zen, they call the Rinzai, in Chinese they call the Linji. In Vietnam Vietnamese is Lam Te, and so forth. They use physical force or violence to teach. As I said, it only works for low-level people. When you get the higher-level people, it doesn't work anymore. Okay? So for Master Weishan to do something physical like this, it shows this guy's level is not that high. Okay, that's all we have. Yeah?
So from some of my from my readings online, 一顶立, the bamboo hat means when people are working in the fields. So you wear those bamboo hats under the sun. And when back in the days when you're in a Chan temple, you're supposed to work in the fields. So there's that symbology of you're part of a member, a disciple of cultivating in the Chan temple. So the Wei Shan bamboo hat here symbolizes that you're one of the cultivators in the Wei Shan temple, practicing under Master Wei Shan.
That's why you wear a hat? It's not enough. Not enough. I don't know about back then in China, in America, I would wear a Weishan bamboo hat. Here, I will allow you to wear a Vietnamese conical thing. If you like, what is that the Mexicans wear? Sombreros, hose, okay? Or if you go to America kindergarten, you can wear those paper hat with the ears of a donkey. Yeah. You can wear any hat. Why do you have to be a Weishan hat? Why have to be a bamboo hat? I don't get it. It's not enough. I don't understand the connection. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's leave it until we know better, until someone has more information on this. We have to list it as we don't understand. We don't understand this particular bamboo hat, Weishan bamboo hat. Seems that we have agreed that the village Mo Yao, whatever it is, it represents a desirable thing, so it's probably enlightenment for the China world, okay? So if that's the case, the monk says, how do I, because if I need to wear a Weishan bamboo hat, in order to reach a village, so how do I get a Weishan bamboo hat? How do I get to wear a Weishan bamboo hat? And Master Weishan stepped on him, okay, for whatever the reasons. Okay? Or can we do something that's also embarrass ourselves a little bit more? Expose! Okay, let's do exposed. Maybe we just say, I don't know either. It's really fast. Two Chan cultivators from Shi Shuang's assembly came and said, notes, Chan Master Shi Shuang Jing Zhu is the Dharma heir of Chan Master Dao Wu Zhong Zhi. He left the home life at the age of 13, was fully ordained at the age of 23, later studied Vinaya. After a while, he felt that what he learned was still gradual teaching, not aligned with his goal of sudden enlightenment. And then he studied under Master Chan, Master Ling Yo as rice head. Okay, sudden enlightenment. This is nonsense. To say not aligned with his goal of sudden enlightenment is nonsense. It probably means he wants to learn sudden teaching, okay? Not aligned with his wish to learn sudden teaching. It's not about the goal of sudden enlightenment. That's nonsense. I don't care if the Chinese think that way. It's nonsense, okay? So here he wants to learn the sudden Dharma, which is correct. If you want to learn gradual teaching, okay, then it's the low level of Chan. In general, if your teacher cannot give you certain teaching, cannot help you with certain teaching, then you're low level. Okay? And therefore, this Shi Shuang here is pretty ambitious. He has blessing. He says, if I'm going to become enlightened at all, I want to go all the way. So that's why I want to learn a certain teaching. Therefore, he went to study under Master Ling Yo. And he was then well known as a teacher of certain teaching. Okay, and in order to study under Master Lingyou, okay, he worked as a rice head, meaning he had some skills already. Okay, so probably this tells me a couple of things. Number one, he studied Vinaya, so his foundation is pretty good. Okay, and so this guy has blessings. When you practice, you want to start out with building the proper foundation. What people don't realize in my generation is Master YongHua, he did not teach Vinaya, but actually he gave us a very strong Vinaya foundation with how saying is Vinaya. Okay, so this Shi Shuang here is very sound foundation. You study Vinaya, okay, and after he became fully ordained, studied Vinaya, which is the traditional way of training in Buddhism. That's very, very sound. And then he made progress, and he felt that his teacher only gave him gradual teaching. Okay, and therefore he said, this is not good enough. I want to go with a master who can teach me certain teaching. And he found that Master Lingyou, Master Wei Shan, was able to give him certain teaching. And that's why he served as rice head. Okay, rice head means that he's in charge. At Master Wei Shan's times, all these people who were like in a position of authority, of higher level responsibility, okay? Because a rice head has to worry about the rice and the food, I guess, to feed the entire temple. So they are responsible for a lot of people. And therefore, they must, in the Chan world, folks, you can talk all you want, but it's about, can you deliver? So if you are a rice head in Master Wei Shan's temple, and you cannot perform, you cannot serve the people of the temple, you're gone. No room for you. Okay? And they're very brutal. Okay, they cannot afford, Master Wei Shan cannot afford, okay, to name an incompetent as a rice head. That's life. Okay? So meaning this rice head guy, this Shi Shuang here, has Kung Fu. He's probably enlightened already. Okay? Low-level enlightenment. That's what when you study Mahayana and you study like under Master Xu Yun, I noticed his Master Xu Yun disciples, for example, they're low-level because Master Xu Yun only gave them gradual teaching. Okay, or for example, I also saw one of my disciples went to Master Yangshan's temple, the Yangshan temple, and talked to the abbot there, and I saw a photo of his disciples doing ceremonies. Okay, I look at them and said, no, these people are practicing gradual teaching. Okay, so they lost the certain teaching at Yangshan's temple as well. That's no wonder the Master YongHua had to bring the Weiyang certain teaching to America. Okay? So anyway, so the point here on slide number 3 is that Shi Shuang was enlightened already, low-level enlightenment, in order to become a rice head at Master Wei Shan's temple. It is just my guess. This is the problem I have. I wasn't there. I don't have any photos. I have no one who tells me what. But all I have is piece information together to build a story or a picture for you. Okay? And so Shi Shuang later, I guess, left Master Lingyou, okay, and had his own temple. Big mistake. okay, Xu Shuang's part. So he had his own, he's enlightened, so of course he's entitled to have his own temple. It's a good thing to have your own temple, okay? And so two cultivators from Xu Shuang's assembly came, okay? Now, this Xu Shuang's assembly, this also tells you that this is traditionally the Chinese Chan practice is assembly, big assembly like we're doing, like Master Xuanhua brought the Dharma to the U.S. It's an assembly Dharma, great assembly Dharma. So Chan is also a great assembly Dharma. All right? And so these people, the Chan cultivators from Xu Shuang's assembly came, all right? And they said, no one understands Chan here. That's their declaration. They say, I've seen it all today at Master Wei Shan's temple, and no one really understands Chan at all. These people who practice at this assembly at Master Wei Shan's the Chan temple, they don't understand Chan here. And later, the whole assembly was gathering firewood. Yang Shan saw the two Chan cultivators resting. He took a piece of firewood and asked, could you talk about this? They were both speechless. Yang Shan said, don't say no one understands Chan here. After he returned, he reported to Master Wei Shan. Today, two Chan cultivators were exposed by Huiji. Huiji is his name. Master Wei Shan said, how did you expose them? Yang Shan then related a dialogue before that transpired. Master Wei Shan said, Ji Zi was exposed by me again. Okay? So what is exposed? What is that thing? The Chinese character, Hui Ji, Kan Po, right? Kan Po. What does Kan Po mean? Yes, Jun. You Chinese people don't explain your Chinese characters to me. I'm dead. I don't understand. Yes?
Kan is exam, investigate. Po is broken. So kan po here to me means see through.
See through. Okay. Anyone agrees or disagrees?
And I also have a comment on the translation expose.
Yes.
I think expose is not the best translation. Expose has a more personal negative tone. It's like trying to expose someone. But kanpo you just see through it. It's like you can kanpo something. You can kanpo life. You can kanpo the problem. You can kanpo someone. But it's not really personal.
You have to be very specific. The way you talk, you cannot talk to your employees like this. You have to say, where is the problem? Very clearly. Here's my problem with this. It's the word exposed. Translation of the word kanpo into expose. So there's no hesitation. Everyone is focused on that word. The way you talked is that, there's translation. I said, translation? Which translation? Which slide? Which part of translation? If you talk like that, you make me think. And you make your listeners confused. You have to provide them with laser focus. That's your job. My job, your job is that there's a problem here. Let's look at this problem and fix it together. That's called precise communications.
Okay, Master.
Okay, so you have a problem exposed. So kan po is seen through. That's what you're saying. Saw through. Today, I saw through 2 Chan cultivators. Maybe? Or what? How would you translate? Expose is the idea, but it could be better. That's what you're saying. How could you improve on it?
Yeah, I'm okay with that translation, Master, you just said.
You okay with exposed?
No, 2 Chan
You
cultivators.
see, the way you talk,
By me.
I'm okay with what translation?
What Master just said.
Where do you learn how to manage people, by the way? If you were working for me, I'd slap you in the face at least a few times already. Which translation?
The 2 Chan cultivators were seen through by me.
Okay, so the translation using I saw through 2 Chan cultivators, which is the same thing, similar to exposed. But saw through doesn't have the exposed. Derogative connotation of exposed. All right? Anyone has any other ideas? So Master Wei Shan said, how did you expose them? How did you see through them?
어떻게 할 거야? 왜안 될 거야? 내 너무 튀니까. 어때?
And Master Wei Shan says, I saw through you again. It seems like the Chinese, they just sit there and say, let the master do all the work. And, you can take it easy, enjoy, his interpretation of Chinese. And make him fool of himself. Yeah? Okay. What's missing here, we have 2 Chan cultivators from Shi Shuang, and clearly Shi Shuang did not teach his students properly. He was a rice head at Master Ling Yo. Okay, so he knew. When you were at that kind of environment, you have plenty of people to remind you daily that that you're not better than they are. Too many people, okay? So he was at a lion's den, and he went out and opened his own temple, and he did not tell his disciples, his students, that this is what Chan teachers to me are supposed to do. They're supposed to say, I can help you so far, okay? But once you disagree with me, once you are unhappy with me, once you learn enough from me, there's a place somewhere else where you can go. Okay? Because I believe that for any reason that you disagree with me, you're disappointed with me, you can go to a better place. Okay? And that's how I feel as a Chan teacher. You owe that to your students. So that tells you Xu Shuang, to me, is not very high level at all. Okay? So that's why he failed to prepare his students to do without him. Okay? I don't know what the tradition here is in Chan tradition, in China, in Korea, in Vietnam, in Asia, and so forth. But for me, in the US, to me, a teacher must prepare his students to move on without him, without relying on the teacher. Okay? Otherwise, you are condemning your students to your own limitations. Okay? I'm telling you flat out, I'm limited. I don't understand Chinese. Chinese, as you notice, the Chinese Chan anecdotes are deeper than I can understand. No two ways about it. And therefore, I'm reminding you, you all need to learn Chinese. Go back to the Chinese because they have the kind of depth that we don't have in English. Okay? So this is what happened this is why Xu Shuang is right there for me when I have his students coming around and say, no one understands Chan here. They're probably two idiots. Okay? You can be polite about it, but these people don't know what they're talking about. You go to a lion's lair and they are not afraid. They don't even understand it's a lion's den. They can't even recognize the lions. Okay, that's how stupid they are. And later, the whole assembly was gathering firewood. So this is a slice in the life of their cultivation. They're working. They're contributing. They don't sit there and wait to be served. Everyone was contributing. This is what I like to hear. The whole assembly was gathering firewood. Okay, I like that. Okay. We all working together. You're all contributing to the temple. All right? Next, Yang Shan saw the two Chan cultivators resting. You see, another thing. These people, these Chan cultivators from Xu Shuang's assembly, they felt better, and therefore they said, well, let these lowlifes work. We don't have to. Maybe they work in our stead, and therefore they're getting our blessing. They're planting blessings. Okay? And that's not the Mahayana spirit. It's not the Great Assembly Dharma. The Great Assembly Dharma is very simple. You do what everyone else is doing. That's only one rule. You go into the assembly, they walk, you walk. They sit, you sit. They work, you work. They chant, you chant. If the Wayno chants and makes a chant, you chant and make sound. You don't say, okay? That's a great assembly. I'm very patient with you because eventually, if you have wisdom, you understand that. You do what everyone else is doing. All right? So they were resting, and so Yang Shan noticed them immediately, so took a piece of firewood and asked, could you, Hai Dao, Dharma, would you like to talk about this? What do you have to say about this? And they were speechless. Okay, meaning that were taken by surprise by Master Yangshan, that they were never it never dawned upon them that someone would come over and challenge the wisdom. And Yangshan, of course, came over and said, so you are better than us, so could you teach us about this? And they didn't know what to say. So therefore Yangshan said, Yangshan said, don't say that no one understands Chan here. And he came back and reported the event to Master Wei Shan. He's saying that today I saw through 2 Chan cultivators. I exposed 2 Chan cultivators. I think to see through is still not enough. Expose has a connotation of I revealed them. I called them out. I called out 2 Chan cultivators. Is that a fair English expression? Huh? I called out 2 Chan cultivators. Yes, Jane?
Yes, the called out is much better.
I called out 2 Chan cultivators. Can we change the English, please? I called out here.
And also, I would like to make a comment.
Yeah.
还道德么? Currently, the translation was, could you talk about this? It's better because translate to, can you still say that? Because previously, they say, people here don't understand Chan. So when Yangshan went there, have a piece of firewood, say, can you still say that? When
Huan is still. Yes, Tao is say. Dharma. Dharma means what?
Dharma means like that.
Can we say it? Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, that's better. Do
you still feel that way? Meaning, do you still feel that no one understands Chan here? But he took a piece of firewood and give to them. Do you still feel that way? What's the connection between holding a piece of firewood and asking them, do you still feel that way? It's still that there's a disconnect.
Firewood, it's almost a plot in this kind of the Chan context.
Why a piece of firewood? It could be like it's pinky and say, you still feel that way?
We were all gathering the firewood together.
Or he simply comes over and say, do you still feel that way? Are you well rested? Are you having a good time? Why a piece of firewood? What's the connection?
They were gathering the firewood, so it's just what's in his hand.
Oh well. That's why I don't like it. I don't know how to explain to you. I don't know how to translate this. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So the concept here, because I don't know, so my best guess is that it happens a lot in Chan temples, happens a lot to our temples. People come to our temple and say, especially Master YongHua's disciples, they come to our temple and said, you do it wrong. Okay, you don't know what you're doing. We are the true. I can relate to that. We are the true Wei Yang. You are imposters. We are fake monks, fake nuns, whatever. Okay, and that's typical. Okay, and so it's typical. People come and say, I'm from Dalai Lama. I'm Tibetan. I have a long history of Tibetan Buddhism. My masters are well known and so forth. We well supported and so forth. Okay, and you are not. Okay, so that's understandable. So these people are biased. Okay, that's understandable. I can relate with that. But later, so they decided, they came with an attitude. Okay, so their head is full. They're so full of themselves already, so they can't see anymore. Okay, that's what happens to people typically. For example, Koreans come to the temple and say, "This is not Korean. This is not. Look at this. This you call this a temple? Huh? And so forth. And so they basically looking for looking for the Chan Dharma, and they said, no, this is not as impressive as what I learned from my master. Okay, and later everyone was working, gathering firewood, and these people clearly, and they're resting. And that's something you want to avoid, okay? You blend in. You do what everyone else is doing. So Yangshan was miffed, so he took a piece of firewood and said, would you like to comment about this? A piece of firewood, okay? That's all I can get so far. I don't know if you can you still talk, do you still feel that way? To me, he's very simple. He says, this is a piece of firewood. Would you like to comment about this firewood? As the Chan meaning of this firewood? Or why we're collecting this firewood? Whatever you like to comment, okay? Why are we doing this? Does it make sense for people in a Chan temple to collect firewood? You don't do that in your temple, clearly. So would you like to say that, would you like to comment about this piece of firewood so that we can learn from you that you have a better Dharma at your temple? Okay? It's reasonable of Yangshan to do that. Okay? And why he did that? They were speechless. They couldn't comment about the piece of firewood. Okay, and so Yangshan was pretty happy. He said, "See, you think you know Chan, but you don't understand why we Chan people collect firewood." Okay, so he felt vindicated, he felt superior, so he came back. And so he said, okay, please don't say that no one understands Chan here. So he says, that's your lesson, okay? You can't even understand why we're collecting firewoods. What does it have to do with Chan? Okay? At our Chan temple, that's you who don't understand. It's not us who don't understand. That's YongHua's teaching for these people. It's a criticism. Don't say, okay? 莫道, there's no one, okay, really understands Chan here. So that's wrong of you to do that. And so he came back and related the story to Master Wei Shan, and he says today 2 Chan cultivators, the Chan guests, 2 Chan guests were called out by Huiji. 2 Chan guests. Ke is guests. So they're not cultivators. They're not cultivators here at our temple. They're our guests. Okay? Were called out by me. And Master Wei Shan said, how did you call them out? And YongHua told his teacher what transpired between him and the 2 Chan monks. Him meaning him showing the piece of firewood and asking them to talk about this piece of firewood that he showed them. And they were speechless. So he related that story, that event. He related his action, his challenge to the 2 Chan guests. And Master Wei Shan said, I just call you out again. Meaning what? It carries many, many meanings. Okay? For example, Master Wei Shan could have meant that you call them out as not understanding Chan. Okay? I'm calling you out as not understanding how to treat the Chan guests. You don't need to criticize them. You don't need to embarrass them. They are who they are. Can you embrace them as who they are? If they think you're stupid, embrace it. You don't need to say, no, I'm not stupid. No, we're not stupid. It's you who don't understand us. Why bother? Can you accept them? Can you embrace them? Did they ask you, point number 2, did they ask you to teach them? Who are you to come over and try to teach them? They are not your students. They didn't say, I came here to learn from you. That's different. Yes? That's point number 2. They never came here and say, we here, is there YongHua, Master YongHua, we heard it's, he's like the next Dharma heir of Master Wei Shan. Can we see what the next generation is going to be like? No, it didn't happen. Okay? So who are you? to appoint yourself to protect, number one, protect the reputation of my temple. Number two, to act as their teacher. I didn't appoint you to protect the reputation of my temple. You appointed yourself to protect my reputation. You also appointed yourself to teach them. You may have good intentions, but you appointed yourself to teach them. So what makes you different from they are? So you're assuming that they don't know either. So you're assuming that you know better than they do. What makes you different? You're not different. You assume that you're better than they are. And finally, it stops right here, which tells me that at that moment, YongHua didn't get it. That's why if he got it, he would put his thumb together and say, "Oh, thank you, Master." He didn't get it yet. So finally, if you were YongHua, what were you supposed to do? What would you do? Suppose you were there, and you're my disciples, not Master Wei-Shan disciples. Okay, just humor me. Okay, humor me. Assuming you were there. Okay, and you saw what happened. At Master Wei-Shan's temple, what would you do? Hey, I'm running out of time. Do not take me for granted. I do not want to run overtime. Okay? I like to hang out with you, but not that much. Yes, Jane. Quickly.
I'm already done that.
Repeat. What?
I will thank you for your teaching. I've already done that.
You already what?
I have already thanked you for your teaching.
You would do that to those two monks, the Chan monks?
I will do that to the master who just...
No, I'm talking about if you were YongHua, seeing those two monks resting when everyone else was collecting firewood, what would you do? Yes, DTT. What would you do? DTT broadcast. Quickly, please.
Master, I would say, ask the two guest monks that please teach us how to meditate.
Teach us how to meditate. This guy is he's so aggressive. Please teach us how to meditate. We don't know Chan. God, he's lying to his teeth. Okay, forget that. Okay, Chun. God, this guy is violent. He said, teach us Chan, please. And then inside he said, oh, you idiots, I'm going to expose you. He enjoys it too much. This guy is violent, you see? I like it. Yeah. Yes, Chun, what would you do?
Master, I will ask them if they need anything, any food, any water.
Need any food, any water.
If there's anything they need.
It's a Google thing. What is the matter with you? We don't have a cafeteria like at Google. I mean, you guys are spoiled. I would bring over some what I heard, like bagels with cream cheese. Yeah? Anyone else? Go for it.
A Di Đà Phật. Nếu con là ngài Ngưỡng Sơn á, thì con tiếp đãi khách rất là tử tế. Và cái chuyện của người ta là người ta. Mình không có cần phải tranh luận hơn thua dạy dỗ người ta. Ta không hỏi mình. Thành ra cái chỗ đó là cái ngài Ngưỡng Sơn á, chấp cái tốt, chấp cái đúng, thấy cái sai. Mặc dầu đắc pháp rồi nhưng mà vẫn còn cái phân biệt tốt xấu, sai đúng.
Okay.
Amitabha Master, if I am Master Yangshan, I will treat them very kindly. I'm not there to fight or argue or tranh luận, argue with them back. This shows that Venerable Master Yangshan still attached to right and wrong, is still discriminating about good and bad, right and wrong.
Okay, very good. All right, you got it. I'm proud of you. Okay, what I taught you, I've been teaching you, is about kindness and compassion regardless. They treat you badly, they treat you impolitely, you still treat them with kindness and compassion. Okay, that's your job. Don't look at me. Okay, it's not my job, it's your job. I don't need to be kind. I don't need to be compassionate. Don't you dare. You say, how come Master is mean and cruel and all those things, and yet he teaches us about kindness and compassion? None of your business what I do. Do what I say. Don't do what I do. That's American. Okay? So I don't want to hear any excuses from you. This is what makes us different from Chinese Wei Yang. Because I want you to treat people, doesn't matter who they are, with kindness and compassion. You do that, I'm very proud of you. I may yell at you, I may beat you up, I'm still proud of you inside. Just because I'm proud of you doesn't mean I have to be nice to you. It's two different things. Yes, 6.
Master, can we quote you on that?
Yes. Okay, so kindness and compassion. Okay, do not do it like the young abbot at DTT and come and mock them and say, please teach us about Chan. We love to learn about Chan. And by the way, did you know that your master was only a rice head at our temple? He was actually under me. Actually, he was reporting to me. You know, that kind of thing. No. Okay? Doesn't matter how they treat you. Doesn't matter who they are. We treat them with kindness, compassion because I want them to have a good image, a good impression of our American Wei Yang. Okay? You are supposed to make them feel good about us, okay, by acting and treating them with kindness and compassion. That's your job. You are not their teachers, okay? Don't try to teach them. Don't try to compete with them. Don't try to show that where they're wrong. It's not your job. Don't make that mistake like YongHua did. Okay? Let me teach you about Chan, boy, sir, gentleman. No, you think I'm stupid. It's no problem. You're entitled to your opinion. It doesn't change me. It doesn't change how I think about myself. Okay? But my master taught me it's about kindness and compassion. I want to treat you with kindness and compassion. That's how we treat people. If you understand a little bit further, okay, then you can do a step better. If you can now, if you naturally treat people with kindness, compassion, you can do it even better, take a notch up by helping them get what they want. Okay? So, for example, you're getting there. So you see these people resting and the rest of us are working. Of course, all of you say, did you see them? Did you see these people? Did you see these guests? They think they're better than us. You're whispering among yourselves and you're, my God, these people at the temple are no good, and so forth. No, if you see them like that, they're resting, you bring over some pillows for them. Bring over some margaritas. Or some cerveza. I mean, cerveza is Spanish for beer. Or if they happen to be Korean, you bring them some booze. Okay? Soju. Okay? So the point here is that you can learn. I'm teaching you a step further beyond kindness and compassion. That is, if you have wisdom, then you use wisdom to help them what they want. Meaning that they're resting, help them enjoy the rest more. That's what you're supposed to do. Don't criticize them. Don't try to teach them. Don't try to make them look bad. Okay? They may be idiots, maybe stupid, doesn't matter. You are the one with wisdom. If you have wisdom, you're supposed to help them get what they want. That's a rule of thumb for people who have wisdom. It's not about he being wrong, she being stupid. It's about you using your wisdom to help them get what they want. That's graduating from kindness and compassion. All right? Thank you, everyone. We stop here.